Alright guys, so this video is a little bit overdue. I had a friend and local business make this slab flattening setup, and I wanted to share with you the first time I use it. I've looked at doing a lot of different things for slab flattening, and I've made a few jigs all out of wood, and they worked okay for what I was doing. But once I determined this is something I'm going to be doing for quite a while, and I'll be doing a lot of, I figured I would want to make something that's a little bit more permanent and a little bit more stable than just making something out of wood. So I had the one-stop shop, welding and repair, local business around here. They also have a YouTube channel, and there is a video of him making this on his YouTube channel, and I'll put a link down in the description below, and I'll try to put one in the comments, in the pinned comments, so you can get to that easy enough. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm down at my shop, which is down by a main road, and I got fans running in here to try to kind of control the dust a little bit. It's just pretty rough in here. There's no dust collection, no air filtration. It's pretty wide open to the outside, so I figured if I just get some fans going, blowing in the direction to blow outside. And yes, I have a respirator I'll be wearing. It's a particulate respirator, so it should be more than sufficient for filtering dust. I got this piece of black locust the customer purchased and is going to use for a mantle. I cut it to length 6 feet. I cut one edge flat for them since it's going to go up against the wall. 10 inches wide, 6 feet long, and I believe it's 1.5 inches thick. It looks like we're going to have to take at least a half inch off of this to get it flatter. It has a little bit of a bow in it, and I'll turn the camera around here. I'll turn the camera around here and show you that. So here's the slab, and if I put you down here, you can see there's a little bit of a bow in the middle of it, and on the end it sits flat. So when you look at this, that's probably 1/4 inch. And typically if you have a bow like that just in the center and the two sides are sitting flat, then you basically double that, because you're going to have to take that same amount off the other side. Of course, when you flip it, the material is going to come off the ends instead of the middle. So I'm probably going to end up taking at least 1/2 inch off of this slab to get it pretty close to flat. To go over the slab flattening setup, I'll just do a quick overview of it, and like I said, go to the link in the description to check out the complete build to get more details on how it was built. I am no metal fabricator, so that's why I didn't build it. So there's C-channel on the sides, and on the end I believe is a couple pieces of angle, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, you can see those welded together from the looks of it. You can see it's angle all the way across, supported underneath. Those pieces of wood that I have there is so I can secure that piece of plywood down to the deck, because otherwise I'd have these openings in between, and I wanted to have a piece of wood to flatten, put a nice flat surface on it, so I have something to screw these slabs down to when I'm flattening them. And then this is the carriage for it, which you can see rolls nice and smoothly. It's got these little wheels on it. He put this angle iron on the ends for the V-groove wheels to ride along. Almost kind of like a sawmill. And then he was nice enough to put these stops on here for me so I don't accidentally drop my $400 router on the floor. And potentially hurt myself when that rudder bit comes flipping around the other way. There's stops on both ends so I don't roll off on either side. Same thing on the other side. And he was even nice enough here, he put a tray in here, and I gave him the router so he was able to size this tray up nice for this router. Cut off a C-clamp, welded it in place here so I could clamp my router down so it doesn't try to lift up while I'm flattening. And like I said, he was nice enough to put a a nut on here with this rod, and even a nice little handle here that even screws on and off, which is cool. So you can take the whole handle off if you just want to go by hand, but I think this is going to be nice. So I won't have to lean way over the table. I can just use this handle. I could put some grease or paste wax on these metal rails to make it slide smoothly, but it actually slides very smooth. A lot smoother than what I was doing before. So that's the setup, and then I have it's a Makita router, RP 1800. It's I believe 3.25 horsepower. You can look up the specs if you like. Just check out the model number there. And it works really well. I have an 1.5-inch Amana flattening bit, which works really well. I have a spare just in case I need it. And I like to cut the wood to the size the customer wants before I flatten it, or get it pretty close, because any extra wood you have on either end or in the middle will just exaggerate the cup or the bow, so you'll have to take more material off to get it flat. So if you can get it close to what you need before you're flattening, you won't have to take off as much material. Anyway, I'm going to set the camera back up here the other way around, and so you can watch and see how this works. Let's get this going. One thing I realized that I didn't think about is the fact that this is about 4 inches off the deck of the plywood, and this board is only 1.5 inches thick, and the plunge router doesn't plunge down that far. So I put a couple of blocks of wood, one on each end, which is where the low point is. The high point's in the middle. So I'm going to get the high point down and flat, and get this side pretty close to flat, flip it, and then I'll put a third board down underneath to support the middle. Before I move the camera, I'm just going to explain what I do here. Is I take the plunge router and I put it in a spot that's kind of on the higher side, and then I give it a light pass. Try to take off no more than like 1/8 of an inch or so at a time, 1/4 of an inch, especially with harder woods like this. And then I'll go kind of the middle to the low side, and I'll start taking off more material until I get to the point where I'm at the lowest spot, and I've removed material from every point of the board. So I'm going to get to the point where I'm removing material from most of the board in this case. Then I'm going to flip it. Oh yeah. No, I'm looking at it, I mean, if it's off by a 32nd or maybe even a 64th of an inch, I'd be surprised. So I'm gonna just call that flat on that side. And this is gonna be sanded after, of course, so it's gonna be even better when it's done. Make sure there's no wobble or anything. Looks pretty good. I'm going to take one more pass to bring that down flat in this section. This is flat. You can see one little spot right here where those are sawmill marks and the router didn't get. That's one little spot. And when I sand this, it's going to take that down and then some. So sanding this smooth will give it a nice flat surface, and we'll be in really good shape. So there we have it. One piece of black locust, nice and flat. Final thickness. We got a little over an inch and an eighth. Not bad. We started out with 1.5 inches. I wanted to stay above an inch, and we accomplished that, and it's flat. I gotta tell you, I love it. Like, from the second I started using this, when you saw me first start flattening the slab, I was just like, wow, amazed at how much easier this is than what I was doing before. It was so much more work, especially having this handle on here, and all I have to do is this rather than lean way over. It's a much big difference. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, really appreciate it. If you're new here and you like seeing these videos, woodworking, sawmilling, firewood, cutting trees, working outdoors, working with wood, definitely subscribe, hit the bell notification. You'll get notified of all of our future videos about all this wood related stuff. If you have any questions, please jump down in the comment section below. Any questions, comments, advice, feedback you have, throw them down in there and let's chat. I always like chatting with people down in the comments. So, and as always, stay healthy, stay safe, stay cool, take care. We'll see you on the next video.